Stevie Johnson time, everybody. Welcome to Buffalo End Zone Podcast. Andy Young has the week off. I'm Kevin Carroll, former Bills wide receiver. Stevie Johnson back with us. Have not talked to Stevie other than texts since the Bills season came to an end. Stevie, how you been?
Man, I've been good, brother. You know, I've been checking in and tapping in on how everything's been going with the BEZ, but handling my business out here in California. Looking forward to getting it back started with the Buffalo Bills season.
Yeah, I mean, the offseason, we say this all the time, Stevie, is basically the NFL is year-round at this point. There's maybe right after the Super Bowl, there's a little break, but then things get busy as the new league year started. Stevie, today, the latest thing, the Bills making it official, cornerback Christian Benford gets his 4-year extension. Reports are $76 million. And when we look at Christian Benford, a hell of a fine by Brandon Beane coming out of Villanova, I believe, back in 2022. And now he gets rewarded. A guy who's a late-round draft pick, Stevie, gets that extension and his next contract, and you could tell by talking to Benford today, he's pretty obviously happy.
Yeah, absolutely, and you love to see it. You know, guys like that, that's draft steals, those diamonds. You know, that's why we love Big Baller Bean. You know, because he's finding more of those guys than he isn't, and then when he find those guys, most of them are able to stick around like Christian to get contracts like this. And it just goes to show for Christian's his effort, his skill, you know, his mentality, the way he approached the game, on the off season. You know, it was great and it was beneficial for the team, leading them to an undefeated record at home. And he was a catalyst. You know, he'll get stronger. I think, you know, the Buffalo Bills defense will get stronger and more depth in that DB position. But yeah, I'm proud of him. I'm proud of Christian, and I'm happy for him and looking forward to more. Although that DB room, I had my guy Kyer in there, but you know, it's all good that he's going somewhere else. How you feel about that, Kev?
Well, I wanted to get into that with you because, and again, I'm not the kind of guy who's going to throw something back in your face, but we all picked our sleepers at the beginning of the 2024 season who would turn around and have a really good year. Kyer Elam was your guy on there. He will, to me, kind of be forever tied to Christian Benford because they came in the same draft. Elam, the first guy that they took, Benford coming later on in the week, later on in the week during the draft. But then it just seemed like Benford was just the better fit for what Sean McDermott's defense wanted to do. So here we are. Is Benford the lower pick, gets the extension, and the Bills then electing to move on from the higher pick, Kyer Elam, who he's a great dude, Stevie. We know that. Hopefully something happens while he's in Dallas, but I agreed with the move. It was just time. If he's a healthy scratch on most game days, and I think everyone held their breath when he had to come in the AFC Championship game, it just says a lot that it was just time to move on.
Yeah, you know, and in a sense of the, you know, holding your breath when he got in, you know, that kind of plays a toll on a player that understands the outside world. You know, Kyer is a real cerebral player, so he knows what's going on the field. But on the outside, you know, if you know you don't have that support or that, that comfort in the system, then yeah, the writing is on the wall. You want things to work, but all the time it's not going to be perfect, you know. And I can you know, have similar thoughts to this with myself and James Hardy, who was a second-round pick and I was a seventh-round pick. I ended up getting the extension, so this isn't unfamiliar to me. And it doesn't discredit anything that Hardy wasn't doing, but it was just the fit. You know, you got to have the right coaches, the right system, right quarterback. Sometimes it gets as tedious things like that, you know, having the right people around you, not only your skill. And I think that's what Kyer fell victim to. Because nobody's perfect. You know, Christian wasn't perfect. Nobody that we have on this team is perfect. You know, so Kyer, he was just like every other player, very talented, but, you know, you got to have your system, and we know how important that is in the NFL.
Well, off of that, Stevie, how big is that when it comes to sports? You look at right place, right time. We'll use Christian Benford and Kyer right place for Christian Benford to land. And like we said, we'll give Bean all the credit in the world for that. But he was perfect for the system. I think of that sometimes when you look back at how Tom Brady's career ended up. Whereas if he didn't go to the Patriots, maybe something else completely different happens to his career. So as athletes, do you guys sit back after a career or whatever and just say to yourself, I was lucky that this team picked me, because Lord knows what would have happened if, say, you didn't go to the Bills back when you joined the NFL.
Indeed, and that's why you're so grateful about the appreciation of where you land, and if things work out, that's where the love come from. That's why when guys like Christian get paid a lot is because of that connection is so special. That's how teams win Super Bowls, and that's how teams go undefeated but maybe not win a Super Bowl. Is all about the system. It's so meticulous and special at the same time. For myself, I can only relate to having to work after my career. You don't really realize it while you're playing that, okay, maybe I should be here, or the fit here would work out. You just want to win. You just want to prove people wrong and prove people right at the same time. But afterwards, when you look back at it, I can honestly say I'm blessed enough to look back and say I'm thankful for everything that happened. There's other guys out there that can't say the same. So and that's just how special this game is. That's the good and the bad about it, just to be honest, Kev.
Yeah, and Christian Benford said that. He also said that his mentality, he's not going to change the way he approaches the game, how he plays the game. When you get that extension, when you get recognized by a team, how important you are, that they want you there for the longer term. Does that in any way, with more money and now more accolades, change how an athlete would approach the game? Christian Benford said he's going to keep approaching it the same way. But I think part of me thinks that you got to feel a little different, a little more responsibility. We talked to him about maybe being more vocal now, because now he's not one of the younger guys in the DB room anymore.
Yeah, things like that. It can be for the guy, for the player. Because me, I wasn't as vocal. We've seen Christian. He's not as vocal. He's more of a I'm a show you type of guy. But we also know that his mentality has also been on a whole nother level as we've seen him develop since getting into the league. We've seen the things that he done on and off the field. We've seen his responses. We've witnessed the positive side of a guy who's getting more playing time, more opportunities, and making the best of those opportunities, and he's not going off the cliff with it. He's been keeping an even keel. So with that being said, I would just say, even though he's getting his money, I don't think it's going to be an issue just because he hasn't shown when he had his success. He's been a problem to us. So I'm looking forward to whatever he does. With him saying he's not going to change anything, um, maybe it's a tactic for your own mind. Naturally, we want to do more. Whenever you get more, get a gift, or get praise for something, you want to do more for that person or that organization. And we all know he naturally has that feeling. We'll just see how it comes out. We just hopefully he don't have any injuries. You know what I mean? That's the main thing, because he's a standout DB and has been shutting down wide receivers all season.
Yeah, he gets the extension. Now the big question, Stevie, who lines up on the other side at cornerback? Rasul Douglas is still out there. Benford said he'd like to have him back. Benford also said he'd love that Dane Jackson is back with the team. They went out and brought cornerback Dane Jackson back. But there's still, to me, I think Dane Jackson is more of a player for depth. I still think they're looking for that top line guy. We'll get to the draft a little bit later on. But do you bring Rasul Douglas back? Do you, Stevie, do this? Stephon Gilmore is still out there. What about him?
That was actually one that I was thinking about, was Stephon Gilmore. If he was willing to return, which I know he is, it'd be amazing to have a vet like that to be on the other side of Christian Benford, who has a similar style, who can play man, who's great playing off, He's savvy, he's smart, cerebral also, and he's got that game experience, that battle tested experience. Not to mention a Super Bowl. Um, I, as far as rookies coming in and new guys, I look at them all as depth. And that's not a bad thing. We all understand how important it is to have depth. So when we talk about the new guys, even Asante Samuel Jr., if we was to bring back Razul, that'd be great because of the familiarity that the team has and the communication. We understand what he can bring and what he can offer. But as far as the team go, when we go into this next season, I mean, my main guy was Gilmore. Him coming back to Buffalo, and everyone else just filling that role in, and not not faltering whenever you go through some adversity. You just got to keep on going.
So is it worth bringing Gilmore back for maybe like a year or whatever? Get some work in, have some younger guys in behind him that can see how Gilmore does things. I mean, he's getting up there in age when it comes to being an athlete, but playing with the Vikings last year, I remember he was very noticeable in a few games
Yes.
for the Vikings. So I think he still has a little juice left in the tank, as they say.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, you get up there in age, but nowadays, how the evolution of the game and the work that the guys and the players have been doing outside the game is just making sure your body is great. And I didn't hear much about Stephon being injury prone in his last couple years, I would say. And last year, the Vikings went deep. They had a strong push, a great team, and he was leading it on defense. So I don't see, any issues with that happening. We brought in Amari Cooper, and we saw exactly what he offered for us. It was everything that Josh needed at the time. I would say, it was everything that I feel like even our younger guys and Keon Coleman needed to see and witness. So I don't see it as a bad thing at all bringing in a veteran, especially at this point of the season with the Bills. Um, Championships, AFC conference championships. Obviously, we looking for that Super Bowl, and I think that's what's going to happen. We got to stack it with veterans, and then be wise in a draft, and hopefully that person can pan out. But we won't see until about week 5 and week 6 with rookies.
Yeah. Other extensions, of course, Josh Allen, defensive end Gregory Rousseau. The other captain, linebacker Terrell Bernard, gets 4 years. And Khalil
Nice.
Shakir gets 4-year extension. Stevie, he's been a guy that I've had my eye on since he arrived in Buffalo, that he was someone I was pulling for, and it didn't look good for a while there. But since he started to come on at the end 2 seasons ago, and his role this year, and his run after the catch, and his ability to stay on his feet, and his ability to just simply catch the football and not have drops coming his way, awesome to keep Shakir around for and get that 4-year extension.
Yeah, absolutely, man. He was a safety valve. Shakir he played amazing last year. Well, he's been playing amazing since he's had his opportunities with Gabe and Stephon playing. Those big third downs. I can just remember the game against the Baltimore Ravens in the rain where you're not getting a lot of situations, a lot of playing time, but you make big first down catches with a wet ball in crucial situations. We knew he had something, and he's just been proving himself throughout the league. And again, kudos to him. And I think it's great for the Buffalo Bills to keep a nucleus. I'm not gonna lie, Kev. I was sad when what's our guy 13 when Mac Hollins left because I felt like we was building
Totally.
something. Yeah, really good with Shakir being the type of player that he is. He's like a smaller gadget, Wes Welker type, Edelman. Mac Hollins is a big gadget type, and it's great for a big quarterback like Josh who can run. I don't want to keep speaking a lot on Matt Collins because he's not on our team anymore. But when we talk about the receivers, I saw the receivers as a great unit. Not necessarily picking them off individually, even though they are great individually. But I saw them as a great unit.
We'll stick with Mac Hollins just for a second because
Okay.
I was extremely down on Mac Hollins at the beginning of the season, even questioning why are we going to him on 3rd and long. But he really grew on me, as a player. As a person, we all got to know everything about Mac Hollins during training camp, but he came in as a journeyman that you thought might be able to help here and there. But towards the end of the season, he was one of the go-to guys when you hit like November into December and whatnot. Goes to the Patriots, Should the Bills have maybe matched what the Patriots did to try and get him to stay?
I feel like yes, because he had everything that you need in a star. I would say I'm gonna keep it real. In a star, he had the off field presence, he had the persona, he was knowledgeable, educational. He was able to be filmed a lot. That's all the outside things that you need as a star. And then on the field, not only was he a veteran as far as finding soft spots, but he did things that I don't know if everybody noticed as far as setting the tone and tempo and routes. It takes a certain type of player to be on special teams, to be the third or fourth option. Yet you still have to play your part to take attention off of the main guys, and he did it to his fullest. And I thought that it was worth enough to match and bring him back again and keep this nucleus together, because I thought it was pretty special what they built with Mac Hollins and Josh Allen.
Yeah, well, he's gone now. He'll be playing with Stefon Diggs. We'll get to Diggs in a little bit,
That would hurt
Stevie.
me too.
But we talk about all these guys getting extensions. The first guy to ask for an extension at the end of the regular season was running back James Cook, coming off a career year. It seems like he's the one guy who asked, and he's the one guy that
Yeah.
they did not extend. I mean, you've been in the NFL, Stevie. James Cook, to me, did not seem like a guy who would be using social media to pressure the Bills, but that's what he did. And now he sits here and looks at his other teammates and draft classmates who are getting the extension while he's just sitting there. Do you think the
Yeah.
Bills did this on purpose, or do you think they just view the running back differently?
No, I think they did it on purpose. I'm gonna be real. I think they did it on purpose, and they have to do this because one, you never shown this all season. You never shown this being vocal like that and pressing the team all season. You've been great. Just chill. When you came out and said that, it's like you're forcing someone to do something. You're like not even saying someone, you're forcing the Giants to do something when that's not really how this business go. In a sense,
Mm-hmm.
there's ways to go about it, and he put in enough work. He put in enough grind on the field to show that he's worth it. And Buffalo hasn't shown any um, disloyalty on players lately. They've known to take care of guys. So I think if he would have just waited, he would get it. Now he just got to wait a little bit longer. I'm thinking like Aaron Rodgers on draft day. If he forced somebody to come out and pick, then everybody would start forcing teams to pay this and that. And it's just one of those balance things. I think it's a power balance. And I'm not saying he did anything wrong, because we have to advocate for ourselves. You just never know, especially being a running back and a stigma around running backs not being paid. And they're doing most of the running. They're called running backs. So I understand what he did, but I don't think it was necessary in a sense. And the Bills are, I think they'll take care of him, but it's just not at the time that he wanted to.
Maybe one of those things where let him sweat it out a little bit, but we'll come to an agreement when training camp starts. We've seen that happen a few times as well.
Yeah, I would hope that they just knock it out though, and let bygones be bygones. I heard he did the unfollow things to the team,
Oh boy.
unnecessary. Yeah, unnecessary. But yeah, hopefully they just lock that in now, because I mean, you never know who's out there that's going to spin. I know I'm jumping into baseball now. It's different tax brackets with money, but the Dodgers went out and bought everybody, so
Right.
somebody might be out there waiting to sign that checkbook and get a James Cook, and I hope he don't go away from Buffalo.
Yeah, so we'll see how that plays out. We talked about Shakir. Let's talk about some new wide receivers, Stevie, coming over. Joshua Palmer coming
Mhm.
over, 3-year deal for the wide receiver with the Rams, who I have to admit, Stevie, when I first heard the name, I had a hard time placing Joshua Palmer. But then once you read up and saw what he was able to, you're like, oh, that guy who was number 5 on the, did I say
Mhm.
Rams? I meant the Chargers. Chargers, right?
Yeah, LA
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Chargers. But yeah, I like Josh Palmer. I think this will be a great opportunity for him to carve himself a new path what I've seen, in my honest opinion, is a guy he was always second or third or whatnot, never really pressed the issue to be the number one, never really had to do that in the league. So he was just super chill. I would just see him as a very talented receiver, but super chill, not pressing the issue. What we need in Buffalo is receivers to press the issue a little bit more. And with the talent that he has, from my film study, it was a we with what Josh has with that cannon, he just needs to throw the ball out there, because it was a lot of passes that I've seen where Josh Palmer has to stop or come back and jump for a ball, but he's got DBs beat. So I just think I don't know if it's like when I speak about receivers pressing the issue, that's a part of being vocal also. You got to talk to your quarterback and let him know, hey, just throw it out there. No matter what the first 10 yards look like, just throw the ball out there and I'll make up and go get it. I don't know if he was saying that to Herbert in with the Chargers, because I've seen a lot of those type of passes, and with his movements was real chill. So I didn't think he had that communication. But if he communicate with Josh, he can be a special receiver, 6'3". He's fast. He got the wiggle if you need to. And he's got a great catch radius in a sense. He can go up and get the ball from anywhere, similar to Keon Coleman. They just got to communicate to get to that next level, in my opinion.
And he's from just over the Canadian border, just north of Buffalo. So he's used to the weather out here coming from L.A., so that should be fine here. Wide receiver, kick returner, Laviska Shenault, Stevie, was someone I think a lot of people in Buffalo were interested when his draft came around. Now he's here, likely just a kick returner, but he had success early in his career as a wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, you know how important it is with the special teams, and now you have a guy that's really focused on special teams, like a Roscoe Parrish, and you see how that can flip the field. And when you got a guy that's not necessarily thinking a lot about the offense, that turns you into a special team ace, whether you're on defense or offense. We need that energy and that spark, because we know how tough it is, how difficult it is to move up and down the field, especially if our running back may not sign with us. I'm glad that we did go after our special team ace, and I think we may pick up another while we're at it, just because we know how important that special teams is.
Yeah, absolutely. The big signing, or at least by name, Joey Bosa, now with the Buffalo Bills, gets a 1-year deal, dealt with injuries. Stevie, I kind of view this as, come in here. If he has a big impact on this Bills defense that you're hoping for with him, it's a hit, and then you take it from there.
Yeah, that's the same way I see it. Great talent. I remember he came in on my last year out of the league, and everything that you need, as far as a locker room guy, as far as a motor strength, doing what needs to be done. It was the only thing that derailed, or not going to say derailed him, only thing that slowed him down was injuries. And so we all know, if you can maintain your body and add the depth, which I think the Buffalo Bills is definitely doing, that's going to maintain his health to be 100% or at peak position for him to do the things that I've witnessed him do in practice and early in his career. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to that. And I think the motivation of Rousseau getting his contract, I think that'll spark Bosa into doing a little bit more than what he's used to.
Absolutely, and that defense needs that spark, Stevie. I think that's the hurdle that obviously the team has in order to get to the next spot. Now, they go out and bring in other defensive linemen looking to help. Stevie, we haven't talked about this because we haven't talked to you since the end of the season, but both players going to miss the beginning of the season due to PED, Michael Hoyt and Larry Ogunjobi. What are your thoughts on that? I know the Bills taking a lot of heat for bringing in two guys that they knew were going to miss the start of the year, but guys that the Bills were interested in bringing in to help. I've heard everything from, well, this is good because they're going to be healthy once we get through the first chunk of the season, to this is the biggest mistake Brandon Beane has ever made, bringing these two guys in knowing that they're going to miss time.
Yeah, maybe I wouldn't lean towards the biggest mistake, we know it's a long season. We're fans, we're fanatics. You know, we want to see action from start to finish. You know, but we all understand that it's a long haul. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And having that talent is good enough right now. As long as they get on the field after their suspension and do what they're supposed to do, no one will be talking anything about the suspension at all. You know, so I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting till around that week 6, week 7 time because right now a lot of teams are talented. A lot of teams can take it, can be the one. And I think a lot of people have learned, how to evolve their team with that defensive line. So I think it is a great chance that Bean has taken, even though they'll be out the first few games. But we know in the later half we need playoffs. You know,
Right.
we need Super Bowl. So that's when it'll really pay off. Early in the season is just for the entertainment, I say.
Let me ask you this. So the players are able to work out all spring, work out during training camp, but then have to sit out. I believe it's the first 6 weeks, and then they can come back and practice for. Have you been on a team that has dealt with players being a player being suspended and how the rest of the team adjusts to having that player around throughout training camp and then them just not being there to start the season? Have you been in any situation like that?
Yeah, I have in San Francisco. And to be honest, as players, we understand the business. You know, we understand players come in and they come out. So our mindset is always next man up. So when you have guys like it was guys on defense, it wasn't an offensive guy. He would practice with us, but certain sessions he wouldn't be with us. And it's all about, hey, my next guy, hey, you got to be ready because you got the first 6 weeks. And it's always that type of mindset and conversation that we've had. We never really, had any conversations where people was feeling like they was lost or didn't understand. Hey, what do we do now that this guy isn't in? As a player coming into the league, you always understand. Hey, it's somebody else's opportunity, and they can be a star because we've seen it so many times. Somebody sit down for a couple weeks, another guy jump in, and he takes full advantage of it, and he becomes the star of the team. So that's the beauty in all of this. We don't like the fact that our guys have to sit out, but the special thing about it is now we might see somebody with an opportunity to become a star that we never noticed. So, it's all exciting.
Next man up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both
It is.
players, Hoyt and Ogunjobi, both saying maybe they got too comfortable around their nutritionist, trusted someone they shouldn't have, and that's how they had the bad PED testing, and that's how they got to where they are. Do players have? Is that a common thing to have people recommending what to put in your body and what not, and so on and so forth?
Kev, that is baffling to me. I wasn't the type that was heavy into taking protein shakes and protein powder, so I kind of stayed away from that. But I just don't understand how do you a lot of the players get recommended, quote unquote, to
Right.
take some things, and then you come back and you're losing money now, or losing opportunities. It just doesn't make sense to me that people are still able to get in these guys' ears, because that's ultimately affecting us. I got some FanDuel bets and DraftKings things that I need to book, and I got these guys sitting out is not helping me.
Yeah.
So what's going on, man? But yeah, I don't know. I can't really speak too much on this. I
Yeah.
kind of stayed away from that. It's just
I
I don't
assumed you
understand it.
did. That was. It's not
Yeah,
like you were one of those jack big guys either, Stevie.
yeah.
You've
I
been.
mean, were they together? Were they together when they was taking this or something? I'm
No,
confused.
that's the whole thing, and you hear it every time. I remember Julian Edelman saying it with the Patriots when he had to miss the first 4 games, rehabbing from a knee injury. Said he trusted someone he shouldn't have, and
Yeah.
you, as an average person, would be like, "Why?"
Yeah, who are these guys you guys are trusting? Like you're a top player in this world, and who is talking to you to make you take these quote unquote PEDs or whatnot, man? Like, dude, like just go work out. Like, at this point, like just go work out.
I
Watch
guess
film.
everyone wants the edge. You usually hear about this
Yeah.
coming off of injury. So we mentioned
Uh,
Edelman, former Patriots wide receiver, new Patriots wide receiver. Stephon Diggs goes back to the AFC East. The Bills will have to see him twice. again, he's another guy who is aged a little bit more than when he first showed up in Buffalo. But Stevie,
Yeah.
you have almost the same scenario in New England now with Drake May, who a lot of people had compared to Josh Allen in his rookie season, and he needs some help around him. Could Stephon Diggs come in and help Drake May like he helped Josh Allen take that next step forward, and they become a pain in the Bills' butt once again?
No, I don't think so. I think he will help Drake with his stats. He would help him with his, I guess, comfort, in finding a receiver, or a number one receiver for his future. But I don't think it's going to be enough to stop the Buffalo Bills run in the AFC East. I still don't believe so, and it hurts me that my guy Diggs is over there with the Patriots right now. I cannot believe it after the history and all the things, but I mean, you expect it. All is fair in war, and this is what it is. It's an outdoor war. But I don't think it's going to be enough for them to derail the Buffalo Bills.
Did you ever have a chance to go to the I remember Scott Chandler going to the Patriots and Donald Jones going to the Patriots, but Donald had a medical thing and ended up not really playing for him. It just those were the
That,
times where the Bills were building. We'll say that, but it's just weird when you see someone from the Bills go to the arch enemy like that.
hey, Kev, don't let them fool you, man. Like I tried to tell Scott, don't do it, don't sign
All
there,
right.
but he wanted to keep going. I was actually on that visit with him, and then Donald, he committed to the Pats, and I had to tell him, bro, you done made a mistake. We'll never take you back. And then he said, all right, I'm gonna fake this injury, and then I'm gonna make sure I don't be solid. And that's exactly how the story went down, though. So I just wanted to save them from being ran over by the Bills Mafia. You know what I'm saying? Like, those are my guys, but it's again, it's all love and it's fair, man. It's competition, it's fun. Being able to see Diggs come back into Buffalo, I think is gonna be great for the fans and for him on social to take advantage of it. And yeah, man, that's just what it's about, though. That's what it's about. And but me, not happening. I wasn't doing it at all. I was just going for the views.
I got you. I love it. Do you think Diggs gets booed or cheered when he comes back to Buffalo? I personally think if someone were to ask me what to do, I'd say Diggs played a major role in getting to the Bills and Josh Allen to where they are right now. That I think he's earned the no boo, the cheer, despite the way he left.
Absolutely, and I'm with you on that because we see the game for the game being how the game's being played. He definitely helped boost Josh and get him comfortable and to become that guy who he is ultimately. Um, but with the way the world is going now and how people are influenced by the social media and the entertainment and stuff, I believe nowadays they're going to boo him just because of how the departure went. The sense of pride, the team is great. Um, I see memes with the side eye with him looking at Josh,
Yeah.
maybe because he left. I don't know what it's for, but I think the culture now is going to boo because it's entertainment. But I think the real ones that game recognized game will clap. Thank you, thanks for what you did. But I don't think there's going to be claps throughout the game as he's making a first down or if he get a touchdown. Now we can start the boos, but I don't feel it's worth booing him when he come out the tunnel. Give him his props and then let the game be the game. You can do your smack talking throughout the game.
I 100% agree with you. When he comes out the tunnel, give him a cheer. Show him the
Yeah.
appreciation. He catches a 10-yard pass, boo him. He
All
run
day. All day.
Yeah, have at it there, but I would at least tip
Yes.
your hat to him when he comes out of the
Yes.
tunnel, for a guy who did a lot for this team. And again, the
And
way he
community.
left, I I don't know him personally. I don't know what was going on there. I don't think we'll ever exactly know what the beef
Yeah.
was there towards the end,
Yeah.
but should be
Yeah.
interesting.
I'm
That's
with you.
just something we're looking forward to. We'll start to wrap up here. A lot of uh, rules changes, looking at rules at the NFL owners meetings down in Florida. One of the ones that got tabled, and this was the big story this week, was the tush push and whether
Right.
it should be illegal. You know, the Bills were one of the teams that benefited from it with Josh Allen, but they also have Josh Allen might not need people pushing him into the end zone. What are your thoughts on that? I've heard everything from it's just a glorified quarterback sneak. What's the big deal? To, this all plays a role in. I don't know if you remember the Broncos playoff game where Cook was running the ball and half the offensive line kept pushing him another 15
Uh-huh.
yards
Uh-huh.
down the field. I've heard that tied into, well, that's why we got to kind of just make it in a way that players can't push the ball carrier forward.
Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to get my honest opinion because I'm kind of on the fence with both. But I'm gonna ask you this, Kev. Did they change where field goal blocks you can't push the guy?
Like
Because you know how
on
you can.
defense, like jump up and
Yeah,
over. I
yeah.
I think that's illegal. I don't think you could use the guy
Okay,
in front of you to get up in the air. Like
okay. Well, yeah. Well, that
we've seen people like Kyle Van Noy just completely jump over
jump over.
everybody, but you
Right,
can't
right.
use the guy in front of you to get up.
Okay, well, yeah. Now, with that being said, with that knowledge, I feel like it should be illegal. Then, if the defensive side can't do it, the offensive side shouldn't be able to do it. If the special teams can't do it, I don't think they should be able to do it on offense. Just to be fair, although
Mm.
it's a very valuable and a great play, we've seen a lot of teams win with it. But I mean, if people are feeling like it's unfair and they're cleaning it out of the entire game, then so be it. You got to adjust, and it is what it is. So, and about the run with James Cook, if forward momentum isn't stopped we all can see when forward momentum is stopped and legs aren't moving or whatnot, then yeah, refs are pretty good at blowing a whistle and calling the
Hmm.
play dead. So I think that judgment stays on the referee, and they've been doing a great job at that. So I don't know about stopping that initially. You got to kind of let that play out. But yeah, a play where you initially pushing the tush or whatnot, yeah, cut it out. Then if you go do it a little bit, you got to cut it out at all of it.
Yeah, Sean McDermott is one of the big voices that wants the play banned. I don't know. The Bills tried it throughout the AFC Championship game and it never worked. Maybe he just wants to move on from it.
Yeah, hey. Now it kind of sounded like Coach was the one that said, "Hey guys, get this out of the league, man. It's not helping us." And I want everybody that's listening. That's not how our coach is. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's a fair guy. And I think that's what we're both talking about. If they go get rid of it halfway out of the league, or offenses or defenses, then just get rid of it all. And yeah, I mean, athletes adjust at the end of the day. You know that better than I do, Kev. You the OG
Oh,
athlete.
of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was playing back in the 80s.
Exactly. The rough times. You feel me? It's all sweet and finesse right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was real football. That was smash mouth
Yeah.
football back then. As a
Big
wide
forearm.
receiver, I'd be lucky if they threw the ball my way once a game.
Man, look. That's why I don't mess with you, Kev. You grew up in a tough time.
Yeah.
Hey, whatever Kev say is how it goes. Straight up.
Let's do a little three and out before we go here, Stevie.
Indeed.
Um, I didn't dive deep into this, but I was just saw the back and forth and saw Bills Mafia coming to your defense. What was going on with Darrell Revis
Oh
on
man.
social media that kind of blew up one day?
Yeah, well, it started. I seen him writing messages like a few years ago. It's the natural NFL banter. Hey, my guy got your guy, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
And I've never reposted or retweeted anything with me getting the best of Darrell Revis, but I will always see him responding to fans about, oh, he wasn't this or didn't do that, and I never jump back at it. I'm not that type of person. But then I ended up sending a message out to him about, let's work together and work together on some things. Best DB, best receiver off the line or whatever. Whatever you want to do, let's do it. And I never got a word from him. So it's like now 2 years later, somebody writes something on your post and you write them and they didn't even at you. but I write you and you don't say nothing. Okay, now I'm gonna let you know what's going on because now one, you talking down on my skills, which is unnecessary, and then two, you not even responding when I'm talking about something positive. So I just felt like it was just he was just getting too comfortable, and I just had to let him know what's real. At the end of the day, you supposed to be all this talking about you cover better people and this and that on me, but when it was our time to go one on one, man on man, you backed up and you were scared. So that's what it is. Either don't say nothing at all, or you go hear me talking.
Proof's in the video, Stevie. Did you like the fact that Bills Mafia was coming out in full force, posting videos and
Yeah,
game proof that look at what Stevie did to you here?
right. And it's not even no bully thing. Like the mafia, they're here to just to show the facts, to state the facts. Now, if I wasn't getting no wins or anything, mafia, they understand we're not gonna fight every battle. You know what I mean?
Right.
But this is a battle that we're definitely gonna fight, especially a guy that's provoking it. Come on now. Let me show you what the Bills Mafia is about, and that's only a little bit. They was light on them. But yeah, man, I love the fact that the mafia is about that, and it's not just about me; it's about everybody on that team. So even players hearing it or that might see it, understand what you have in your community. Every team got a great community. I'm not disrespecting any, but understand that this Bills Mafia, I haven't played in dang near 20 years, 15 years, and they still got love for me like this. So just take advantage of this time, guys. Take advantage of that Bills Mafia, man, because they your family for real. Mafia means family.
Absolutely. I got to admit, it's fun to reminisce and look back at some of those games and what you were able to do. How about to the here and now? You looking to bring arena football back into the Buffalo area, Buffalo
Yes.
Destroyers? What's up with that? How's that going?
Yeah, Kev, man. That's a testament to the city and just my love for it. I want to provide everything that I see as positive and great that's around the world that I see. Will it happen? I don't know. I can't 100% say it will happen. I just spoke with Todd Tryon, the commissioner of the IFL, and he just gave me some tips. Building your infrastructure, having that partnership group, having working capital is major to continue to sustain a team like this. And he was just giving me little tidbits, and I told him what I have. I have partners with housing and things for for the team to go on. But as far as working capital, that's a continuous thing, And right now we're just building up our infrastructure to hopefully join in next year of the summer, next summer, of 2026. But it's a process, man. It's exciting. It's a process, and anybody interested in partnering up, contact. I'm not hard to find. Don't hesitate. You know what I mean? This is how things happen. We got to partner up and be stronger together to provide this for the city.
Is this at all connected into what you're doing now? Aren't you part of an arena football team out in California?
Yeah, so I have minority ownership in the San Diego Strike Force, and I also do player and media ambassador.
Okay.
We had our first game Monday night against Las Vegas Nighthawks. It was excellent out in Oceanside, and that's where the love ended up coming. Like I see how things are moving out here, and I'm like, dang, they need to have this out in Buffalo. I have a lot of guys that's in this skill group and this level of play that I train, that I connect with, that I send to kids, So it's like, dang, these guys are in Buffalo also, but does Buffalo have a team? No, they don't. They had one. Okay, well, let's try to work together to bring it back because that's only beneficial for the city. Having the kids have more pros to be able to interact with. The NFL guys, I was just talking to some of the guys on the strike force today, and it's like I was sparked off of the TV. But these kids are so lucky now. They get to dang near sit next to the players and hear how they talk to each other,
Mm.
how they hustle and handle their business. And I love the Buffalo area, and I'm connected with the community and the kids there. I just want to spark their mind in some way. And I know I can't play the game, but there's other pros, amateur, semi-pros that can do it. But we have to do our part, as far as the infrastructure team to put this together and put this platform on for the community.
You get that team back out here. Could you and I go through training camp with them? See how we stand
Oh
these days?
what man, we'll do so many cool things that you won't even understand how many things I already got in mind if we can get this thing going. It'll be so sweet. Oh my goodness, it'll be so sweet. But Man, anything you want though, Kev. You already know how I go.
All right.
I
All
seen the
right.
pictures.
Yeah. All right. We're going to head out now, Stevie. Draft, of course, is coming up. Before we go, your thought with the first pick for the Bills on where they should go.
First pick. Let me see. I'm thinking. Kentucky has a D lineman. I mean, I feel like that's the code. You gotta beef up the defensive line. Um, like I said, we talked about this earlier. I was mainly looking at Gilmore. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I want Stephon Gilmore. All of the rookies, again, like I said, is for show right now. To me, I feel
Yeah.
like it's for show. I don't know how much of a game changer they'll be. They'll be a great prospect on the team, and potentially a great star. But I'm more looking at the free agency, and with a departure of my boy Kyer, I wanted Stephon Gilmore to come back. So that's been my main weight and concern, is seeing if we can get Gilly.
All right, we'll see what happens. Stevie, thanks so much for joining us. Andy will be back next week with me, and Stevie, hopefully we'll have you on a few more times as we approach mini camps and OTAs and all that fun stuff.
Yes, always love, man. Love to the whole family, your
Yes.
fam, and Andy. What up, though, Andy? I know you ain't on now, but shout out to the squad, man.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Stevie, and to everyone listening or watching, thanks for joining us. We'll be back again next week. Thanks, Stevie.